Sports Dissected, welcome to Provo, Utah, home of the BYU Cougars. We're getting to check out what the BYU football experience looks like in this week's episode. She's the Director of Marketing and Fan Experience here at BYU, and she's someone who's really responsible for a lot of the in-game experience for the fans. So what can someone expect whenever they're coming to a game day?
It's loud. Fans get loud. They're super engaged. Some of our favorite traditions are student sections, massive, and they control the energy in the stadium. So pregame, when the team runs out, they're loud. We have flags that go up above. They're these big 60 by 80 foot flags, and then they sway back and forth to Kanye's Power. We'd have turbulence at our third quarter break, so Cosmo comes out, we've got cheer, Cougarettes, our dunk team, everybody's out on the field. Cosmo's leading the stadium in a clap, and then we go into turbulence, and that's when the whole stadium goes crazy.
David Almodova, what is your role here at BYU?
So I'm the current Senior Associate Athletic Director over external operations.
How does the fan experience impact the players that actually get to play in front of them?
I think one thing we've done with our fan experience staff is one of the things that we currently preach is whatever we're doing in our venues, we want to make sure that our players playing at home have a true home field advantage. We have a great home field advantage with our student section, The Rock. And The Rock attends all of our games.
Cosmo the Cougar, he is a big part of the traditions here, and especially what gets fans really engaged. How is it working with that kind of a mascot?
He's a crazy cat for sure, literally. So our person that oversees that program, David Eberhardt's his name, and he came from the NBA, and so he was a mascot under the NBA for a lot of years, a lot of experience. Cosmo was pretty big before that. He's taken it to another level. And so yes, our fans love Cosmo. Cosmo's our most followed entity on social media.
We're here with Matt Nix. He's the Associate Athletic Director at BYU for both events and facilities. So we're standing in front of the Student Athlete Building. Correct. How long has it been here, and who does it house?
So this building was built in 2004. This houses most of our football operations. So on the first floor, we have our football locker room and training room. And then the second floor is all the football offices, all their meeting rooms, coaches' offices, team space. The team weight room is on the first and second floor. And then on the third floor is our administrative offices and what we call our Built for Life Center. And it's really the place that supports all of our student athletes for everything other than their team, right? Their coaching, their academic support, career development, everything that we do to support the student athletes and help them be successful in life is managed out of our Built for Life Center on the third floor. And we've recently gone through and renovated all of those spaces just to kind of bring them up to a higher standard, right? In 2004, this building was awesome, right? But then we kind of grew, the college athletics grew, the needs of our student athletes grew and changed. And so we've gone through and renovated almost all the spaces inside this building since 2004 to bring it up to what our current student athletes need and what the student athletes today in the competitive level that they're competing at with NIL, with everything that they're facing in life. We're here to support them and give them the best opportunity to be successful.
Josh Hewitt, you are the Director of Equipment Operations here at BYU. What does that entail?
So I do football day to day, but I oversee all the equipment managers of all the different sports that we have here at BYU. We have an equipment person attached to it, they report to me.
Looking at this wall here, how many cleats and different shoe variations do you guys have for the players?
We got quite a few, obviously. We have every size, style, width possible that Nike offers for us. And then this is Big Mike here. We kind of dress him up weekly. So the guys on Monday, one of my managers will dress him. So the guys know all week exactly what we're going to wear on Saturday or Friday night or Thursday night, depending on when we play.
So we're seeing a lot of uniforms, the history of all of them here at BYU behind us.
Obviously you can see it stretches out from dating back all the way to BYU Academy. And the number on the jersey represents the year that jersey was worn all the way to our current where we are today.
One of them is orange. There's a few down there that are this navy gold kind of color. Can you speak to why those uniforms changed in those years?
I think we just lost our identity. As you can see, we always kind of had the Western stripes, and then the late 90s lost them with the navy and gold, but kind of picked it right back up to where we currently are, and that's who we are. And people know the uniform when they see it. It's a big time brand.
What about this year's uniform combinations? How many do you guys offer for the student athletes?
So we'll wear a different combination every week this year, whether it's changing a face mask, pant colors, jersey, helmet, you name it, we'll have a different combination every week. This is our current coaches here at BYU, Coach Kalani Satake, Aaron Roderick, our offensive coordinator, Gennaro, Harvey, and Kelly Papinga, all in the uniforms that they wore when they played here at BYU. And then above them is the history of our helmets.
BYU's colors, they're not orange, but let me tell you, this is a pretty beautiful closet considering your guys' partnership with Nike.
Definitely, like I said, outside, and we got every cleat option that we could imagine with the widths and size, everything, so.
How many does a player get to have per season?
Kind of just depends on the player. With us having the two different colors, we're probably on the higher end just because of the Royal and Navy, so it really depends on the player. Some guys will wear the same shoes all year, some will get a new pair every couple games. It just depends on the guy. You
guys will scan the football players' feet just to kind of find what that right cleat is for them and what's specific and unique to themselves.
Yeah, so every time we get a new player into the program, we scan their foot to make sure that we have all the measurements we need, making sure they're in the proper footwear, length, width, you name it. We want to make sure that they're in the right footwear to perform on the field to the best of their ability.
We just came from the shoe area. Now we're talking all things helmets over here. How many different helmet variations are in this room?
We got quite a few. We got the navy, the royal, the white with royal, white with navy, and then obviously we can mix up the face masks from there. You get the all white look, traditional BYU with the white with royal, quite a few. And then it's not just helmets, we have the shoulder pads. We consider this our pad room, so helmets and pads. We do all the fitting in this room for protective equipment.
You guys worked with Longhorn Lockers to design this space. You worked within the original footprint, what was here before. What were some of the must-haves for the student athletes that you guys had to include in this space?
I think it was the space, mainly. I mean, these lockers they have all kinds of storage space for the guys. These all pull out, all vented out. We have the helmet fans, so the helmets sit on the fan to dry out. Plenty of storage throughout all of this space.
How many lockers are here in this area?
So we have 124. We use 123 currently, with one that's kind of off by itself, so we don't put anyone in that locker.
Ryan Phillips, this is your domain in here. This is all things strength and conditioning when it comes to football. What can a student athlete expect here at BYU when it comes to working with you?
So a couple different things. We are an individualized training facility. So we like to see how our guys lie and how they test. We test the guys through a dynamic strength index. So we pull the guys and then we also jump the guys to see where they lie and what bucket to put them in. So it's not a cookie cutter program to where you just hang workouts up and everybody does the same workout. It is very individualized to the specific needs of that athlete. So whether he is force deficient or velocity deficient. So that's kind of how we go about our business and giving them what they exactly need, not just a cookie cutter program.
We're talking high ceilings in here. Yeah. It's big, it's beautiful. It has beautiful views of the mountains behind it. How many guys can you guys handle and hold in here in a particular workout?
We can hold the whole team if need be. It's going to take some effort on our part to organize it the way it needs to be organized. But right now we do an offensive lift group, defensive lift group. And so there's about a good 45 to 50 athletes in here at one time.
I know that your title talks about strength and conditioning, but we really need to add injury prevention into that, considering how important it is here at BYU. What do you guys do to really instill that in the players and get them to a point where they're avoiding having those injuries to begin with?
Injury reduction is, we use a lot of technology, force plates, 1080s, elite form that are on every single rack up here to see where our guys lie in season. And so what I mean by that is we collect that data all shoots to my computer, and we can see if there are any deficiencies in the athlete right then and there. Whether it's asymmetries among limbs, the left leg stronger than the right leg, well, then we need to work that right leg a little bit more.
So when you're a student athlete considering coming to BYU, this is a room that all recruits are brought to, including their families.
That's right. It's kind of like Kalani's living room. He's got his office over here that he works out of. This is an extension of that, and he says it's, you know, his comfy living room for them to feel at home here at BYU.
I know he has some personal touches in here since it is his space, since he is coach right now. What are some of them that we're seeing?
Yeah, certainly. So we've got his jersey here from when he played. You see it's got the Fafita Sitake on here, the old throwback drop shadow. It's also got this Tongan shield here speaking to, you know, his background. And then we've also got some other things in here that more speak to the program. We like to keep our most recent bowl win trophy in here so they can see that you're getting to bowl games, you're winning those bowl games. We've also got this here, it's called the Beehive Boot. The winner of basically the in-state rivalry between us and University of Utah, Utah State gets this. Over here in the corner, we also have the Wagon Wheel, which is another little memento trophy piece from our game against Utah State whenever that game goes on. So it being in here is a good sign that we're dominating the state right now. As we're heading out, one thing that you'll notice is this picture of Jesus Christ. You know, here we want recruits, their families, to realize, especially kind of a last thought as they're walking out the door, that this is a centerpiece and a focal point of our program. You'll hear Kalani talk about it every day if you're in the team room. You heard him talk about it recently in our post-game speech after the Utah game. Super important that we're trying to emulate Jesus Christ and follow his example here.
Consider me a student athlete that just committed here. I'm a first year, it's my first day of fall camp. What can I expect in terms of a season here with BYU football?
Yeah, so the day of a student athlete here, you know, you don't have a ton of time every day, right? You get 4 hours a day, 20 hours a week that you're with them, so you really got to be efficient with your time. So every day we'll start in here. You imagine this place, it's filled, every single seat, and sometimes even up the sides with staff included. Starting here with a prayer, whether you're of the LDS faith or whether you're Jewish or whether you're Muslim or whether you're Catholic, everyone takes a turn. It just literally goes down the line throughout the year and everyone takes a turn saying a prayer in their own way. And then we'll break from there, go into special teams meetings or into offensive or defensive meetings. And on Fridays in here in season, this is a spot where as a team we get together and do a team sing-along before we break and go to the hotel or to the airport to fly out. So a lot of good vibes happen in this room on a daily basis just to help the team be close-knit.
When you come to BYU, there is the option to serve on mission trips for 2 years at a time. How many of the student athletes here choose to go that route?
If you looked at a snapshot of our team now, there's probably about 50% of them that have served missions. As it comes to missions, you'll either get kids who sign with us and then decide to serve right away before coming to school. So they'll go serve 2 years and then they'll join us as a true freshman as a 20-year-old instead of, you know, an 18-year-old because they've been gone for those 2 years. Or you'll get some that come and play for a year, like we have one on our team now, Reiner Swanson. And after this season in January, he's going to head out and serve a mission in Africa. So, you know, right now we got about 50% of our team that does that.
So we've gone through what it would be like as a recruit here at BYU, what it's like to be a student athlete. Now let's talk about where you can go after your time with BYU football, and that's to the NFL.
That's certainly the goal here for us, you know, in terms of the players and the recruits, is showing that we have a pathway to get there, right? We'd like to hope that we're showing a path to get people drafted after they're done here at BYU. So this is an indicator of that, right? We have all of the NFL teams here, and if you make a roster of an NFL team, your name will end up here on one of these placards under whatever team it is that you're on, or it's a good way to show people visually, like, look, we're getting people into the league.
Tyler, you're a player here at BYU. To any future recruits looking to come and play here, what do you want to tell them?
This is the best place. No, it really is. We have a very unique spot in college football. Not only from the aspect or the standpoint of we represent a religious organization, just the experience here in Provo. You're in a college town. There's 2 universities, you know what I mean? There's only one football team here in Utah County, it's us. We have our rivals just up the road, which is electric. But outside of that, there's just a unique aspect. And I will say BYU takes a really holistic approach so that when you're done with football at whatever point, whether it's when you're done with college football or when you're done with professional football, BYU really sets you up for life. So that's my plug for BYU. I love everything about it. I love the football program. I love the academic side, and I've loved my experience here.
Duff Tittle, you have been here for years upon years. You've seen the changes and growth here at BYU. What's it like here in Provo, Utah?
I think we have a really unique place here that a lot of people don't really know about in the Rocky Mountain region. You're maybe not around the major media markets of the world, but we have a lot of really cool things that have happened here through the years, particularly in our football program, basketball program. That's kind of kept me here for sure.
Let's talk about a really special tradition. There is a big old letter Y up on a mountain behind us. How did that come to be?
So early 1900s, basically the story behind it is that one of the classes went up there and put their graduating class numbers up on the mountain, and it was a junior class, and the senior class didn't like that. And so they went up and changed it, and it got into this kind of little battle on campus. The president was smart enough to say, we do need kind of something that recognizes our university right here at the base of these mountains. So they decided they were going to put BYU up there. So they spent some time and they did it. They went up there on a Saturday thinking they were going to put the BYU on that mountain, and it took them literally all day. They were there when the sun came up and they didn't go home till that night. All they could do was get the Y done.
A lot of successful quarterbacks that have came out of this program.
Sometimes we like to call ourselves QBU. When you go starting back and you look at the names, there was a guy here in 1965-66 named Virgil Carter. He went on to be the quarterback in the NFL that Bill Walsh built the West Coast offense around. The genesis of the West Coast offense was Virgil Carter, who was our first All-American.
Tom Holmoe, you have been here at BYU as both a student and now an athletic director. How have you seen it change over your years here?
Well, it's changed a lot from my time when I first came here as an undergraduate till where I am here right now. It's actually my third tour of duty. When I came in here to Sleepy Old, Utah in 1977 on my recruiting trip till now, it's 180 degrees different.
Take me back to your playing days. You played for head coach Lavelle Edwards, who the stadium is named after. What was it like? What did you learn from him?
Well, Lavelle is just such a unique man and coach. When I first came here, he had been here for about 6 years. So it's kind of the beginning of Lavelle's run that went for 29 years. It didn't take me or my teammates or the families that were associated with the program to realize that this is a special individual. Through, my basically 40 plus years of being here at BYU, so many people have been influenced from him. So many people, he's changed their life.
Because you've seen this place change over the years, you've seen Lavelle turn into, from your coach to the stadium. What do you hope that BYU grows to be while you're still here and after you?
I think that the growth and development of BYU Athletics, the football team, the women's soccer team, whatever the team is, I don't think it's really necessarily about brick and mortar, about how big you can get or how shiny you can get. I think it's really in the spirit of the people that are there. This place is really about the people that are here. We try our darndest to bring in the people that fit the best.